Hi friends and companions along this path of spiritual practice. We are all waiting for a vaccine, for a peaceful and orderly transition of power. We're all waiting for businesses to reopen. We are all surely waiting for our children to be able to return to schools safely. And we are all waiting, you and I are waiting to gather in person here at Unity Church. We are all waiting, but waiting has rarely been an easy practice. Like many other spiritual and religious traditions, Zen Buddhism affords a place of honor for the practice of patience. It's right there among the 6 paramitas, or the perfections of wisdom, right there alongside generosity, moral discipline, diligent effort, meditation, and even wisdom itself. It's a pathway to becoming the awakened ones, the bodhisattvas. But patience is not only a pathway, it is one of the fruits of awakening and one of the ways in which we serve all sentient beings. There are lots of insights and wisdoms and practices that we can study up on with patience, but I want to share just a few essential notes to guide us as we step into the practice of patience. The first is this, that the teachings of Buddhism say that patience is an intrinsic human capacity, that we can be patient with thought and speech and behavior as a birthright. It is like a seed that we carry within us, and our practice is about the cultivation of that seed of patience. But we have that capacity, we have that choice. We are not hopelessly confined to being an impatient person. We can practice cultivating patience. The teachings of the Buddha also remind us how to bring awareness to impatience as it rises. It may be in that contraction of the muscle. It may be that tossing and churning in the stomach. It may be in that constricted, judgmental state of mind. But as we practice meditation with any object, we can place our attention and notice the rising of impatience in thought, in speech, in our action. As we bring mindfulness to impatience, we begin to investigate the causes of impatience. There are the initial causes, like, I want something terrible that's going on to stop right now. Or that thing that I really desperately want and expect, I want it to begin right now. Those are the initial causes as we investigate impatience. But as we stay with meditation upon impatience, we explore a deeper underlying diagnosis, which is that you and I are creatures that want the reality to conform to our wants and expectations. We exclude the things that we do not want, and we want what we want right now. As we sit with this insight, it becomes wisdom. Wisdom that slowly begins to drain power out of impatience. Impatience does not mean blind forbearance of anything and everything. In the work of justice, there is a place to be patient and a time not to be patient and to engage. Patience is not blind forbearance, and certainly patience is not denial or repression. Thich Nhat Hanh, the beloved Zen Buddhist teacher, therefore translates Kshanti, or patience, into inclusion. Patience is the practice of radical inclusion. Patience teaches us to center ourselves, to be grounded and still enough to open our emotional range beyond the myopia of what we like and what we want right now. Patience as a radical practice of inclusion is a realization that we exclude too many things out of our field of awareness and consideration. The need drives us to act, to speak, to engage, all too prematurely. This patience as a radical practice of inclusion asks us to open our hearts and minds, to practice listening to diversity, to voices that have been marginalized and silenced and discounted all too often. Those of us who have been working with the intercultural development inventory, we know that the majority of the population is at this point called minimization, where we exclude diverse voices that we don't want to hear, that are uncomfortable for us. As we practice at minimization, we are trying to move toward acceptance and ultimately adaptation. And this requires patience, friends. Patience that expands that field of awareness when we are in minimization to wider and wider voices and perspectives, to other cultures, to other political agendas, to the one who is our other. To expand that repertoire of skillful means so that we can act in an adaptive way with greater skillfulness, greater wisdom, and greater compassion. The practice of patience as a practice of diversity, as a practice of leaning toward acceptance and adaptation. And so we continue with our practice.